Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM21 story, The Head Coach with me, Daniel. It's part 110 today and we are back for a big one. We've got Empoli first at home in Serie A in a league game which we should really be winning. If we do, we'll go back top of the tree by a single point to AC Milan ahead of a big game against Bayer Leverkusen in a Champions League. Things are going pretty disastrously over there. And with the German side coming up next, despite being the European champions and the top seeds, we have to win both of these games. We're on 1 point after 2, we're in big trouble. So tonight, it could be redemption or complete and utter failure. If you want to find out which it is, please do chuck a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe down below for daily FM21 content from 2 long-term stories. We're in our biggest week of live streaming ever over on Twitch, so do get down in the description and click the link over there. If you could give us a follow and come and join us to watch the football, it'd certainly be a load of fun. There's plenty of FM21 streams over there as well. And there's also links to a load of the playlists and the food channel up in the eye above. So I'd love it if you could check those out as well. But a massive thank you for your support as always. We've got big football matches today. And I think it's fair to say the last game before the international break off camera was just about the most exceptional I've been involved in this year. Possibly after the finale with Real Madrid last year. If we go and have a look at the schedule and get through the other games first, we have bounced back from that 5-1 defeat at United. We'll be trying to get redemption against them in the next episode. But Entella away, it was a 3-1 win. She had Roma, Ristovajevic and Esposito with a last-minute penalty. A 5-0 win at Bologna, Asana Balde hat-trick, Popov back in with a goal and Bongiorni one up front. Against Sampdoria, it was the wonder kid who opened the scoring again. She had Roma and Samois joined him on the score sheet. A 1-1 draw away at Betis, it was Bongiorni again with the early goal. But we were pegged back in the Champions League and that's 1 point from our opening 2 games. A big concern there. And in a 4-3 win at Cittadella, which is bordering on ridiculous. We were 2-0 down after 20 minutes. We were 3-1 down in the 88th minute. Bongiorni scored in the 89th minute, the 92nd minute, and Robert Gandara in the 94th. I have not seen something like that for a long time. We're starting to talk about some very memorable moments there, but a crucial 3 points. It gives us the chance to go top today. And with Empoli and then Monza coming up, it could yet, if we beat Bayer Leverkusen 2, be a good finish to this month. We've had a break, but it's been the internationals, so plenty of our players will have been in action. And that leaves me a little bit worried about the fitness ahead of today. But most importantly, we've got to get results, because taking aside the Serie A form at the moment where we could go top again, it is still quite tight up there between the top 6 or so. And look at the Champions League group. United are away on 6, they're going to win the group. Bayer Leverkusen on 3, we have to beat them. I know both of our first 2 games were on the road, which didn't help. Real Betis, hopefully now we can beat them into 3rd place at the very least. And we yet to win the Europa League in this series, so that would be useful potentially. But in the grand scheme of things, we've got to get above Bayer Leverkusen. We have to find a way through. And that means today's second game in this episode is going to be absolutely essential. But firstly, we've got Empoli to deal with. You can see Milan are on brilliant form. They are dominant in their matches. Atalanta, after a slow start, are starting to find form again. But what on earth is going to happen here with Juventus? It is a big football match. There is a lot at stake. So let's see what state our players are in following the international break. And what lineup we can put out for this one. So a couple of players not quite fit. We've got a few with injuries as well. So Popov's tired, De Freitas, they'll sit in the lower ends of the bench. We'll have Esposito and Tomiyasu still with injuries. And then we've got Marcelo and Bak, who would normally start, who have got a very heavy match load. We've also got De Ligt and Ege in that situation. Ege's a backup, so I'm not as worried about that. He's in for shit Roma. But then at centre-half, I've had to bring Ceballos in. We can't have 2 heavy match loads there. And if things do go to plan, we'll try and rest them sort of half and half. So the lineup is as follows for today as a result. We've got Onana in goal, Simois and Cesar the fullbacks with Ceballos alongside De Ligt at centre-half. Tonali and Ege in the middle, Unava in on the left-hand side. He's with Balde and Gandara, and it's his first start back from long-term injury too. And Bongiorni, the wonder kid, still going up front. He's got 7 for the season now, and he'll be hoping to build on that today. Fingers crossed he's able to, as we've only got 11 subs. We haven't got anyone available or fit in the under-18s or the B team. So this is all we can do for today. Let's see if we can win it though. Okay, not many recognisable names in this Empoli team, apart from Jason Knight, who I'm pretty sure, if I've not mixed him up, is the man we managed at Derby. And Mark Guehi at centre-half. I'm sure we had him at Dorking in last year's One Club Story. So a couple of familiar names about there. Let's go and tell the lads to prove a point. Let's have a look at the tactics. And I just want to go and have a very quick look at them. Is that the Jason Knight we had? I'll be able to tell. It is. It's the Jason Knight we had at Derby. He's only 30 years of age, so he's still going. But nice to have a familiar name from our English stints over here. I didn't expect that. We'll get through the tunnel interview. We've got most of the lads motivated. And into the first half we go. We've just got to try and get a positive result. We have to get on top before the big game in midweek. And we have to try and be able to rest some legs. So we need to be at our best today. Let's see if we can do it. As we're back with 15 gone, it's been a quiet one so far, but Gandara flicks on a throw-in, and we're in an advanced position as it's headed out to Simois again. Delivers into Balde. Header straight at the goalkeeper. Not quite good enough there. We carved them open though, and that's a positive. Though the long kick downfield, Empoli look like they've got a counter on here. Gallardi gets in, Tonali wins it back to Ege though. I was starting to worry we might have a repeat of Cittadella, where we look so poor defensively. As Ege gets all the way into the box, and he goes greedy for the shot. He should have laid it off there. There were 4 in the middle. But it was a really good run regardless. Still 0-0 though with 20 minutes gone. But so far it's been domination. And you've just got to ask yourself, is it a matter of time? Maybe not with the way we've defended so far this season. As it's out on the left-hand side for our visitors. They slide it through to Nenchi, the striker and skipper. He gets to the byline and crosses. Tonali heads away as far as Gandara. His flick away, Bongiorni gets on the end of it, but he's dropped very deep to pick it up. Can we get support with him? His first cross is blocked. His second switches to Unavar. Rare start for him. And he looks a bit rusty in that finish, to be honest. It was poor, it was tame, and it was easy for the keeper. It was almost a back pass. Half an hour gone, still 0-0. So we're going to demand a bit more, but I'm a tad worried about this display so far. And I can't even demand more because our assistant has been too busy on the touchline. Very strange first half performance. It remains goalless. Empoli will be absolutely delighted with that. They'll be thrilled if they can keep it up and get a point. But we've got to find a way to get into this. So we're going to demand more from the lads. And surely the breakthrough has got to come eventually. Well, maybe I was just being arrogant because we've reached 63 minutes now. We've not threatened the target again. And so many of these boys look apprehensive. I'm not quite sure what's going on with them. So we're going to replace Unavar, who is tired on his first game back, with Back, who's the first choice player. He'll be a winger on attack. On the right wing, we've not got Popov, but we could bring Fabrian on. He's going to come on for Gandara. And then what else can we do more defensively? Ege had a heavy match load. Let's replace him with the first choice Shet Roma. We've just got to try and get as strong as possible because we're getting embarrassed here a little bit. We're going to encourage the lads. I want to try and get them on side. But even that, they've not really reacted to. So we've gone attacking. We're trying to push forward. I think we're going to get held here. I have no idea what's happened in this second half. We've seen none of it. So let's try and go a little bit more direct, shall we? We're going to pass it a little bit more direct. We're going to go a little higher tempo. We are going to counter when we win possession. And we're going to push higher up the pitch. I'm hoping with 10 to go, we can just create one chance. Because this is turning into a bit of a horror show for us in Italy. We've got a corner kick though with Tonali into the front post. It's straight at the goalkeeper. This has been an infuriating display. And I've got to say, maybe not going forward, we've looked pretty good for the most part. But this has certainly been coming defensively from the Cittadella match. Although Fabrian gets in there, forces a good save from the keeper. And I'm going to have to demand more again. The morale is all over the place. The confidence isn't there. The quality isn't really showing. As Tonali into the back post, Bongiorni heads over. And maybe that's what we're missing. At Tottenham we had Perea. At Real Madrid we had Klassen. And even at Southampton for a time we had Empoli. We had a striker who could dig us out of trouble. And we don't have that here. Juventus are going to be held by 17th place Empoli. Milan stay top of the league. And with a few games gone this season, the last 2 performances have rung massive alarm bells in my head. Conceding 3 and just sneaking a result away at Cittadella. And then looking completely toothless against another relegation rival here. A lot of worrying signs to come. And if we don't win on Tuesday, this could be a very short stint. Not via our choice, but by a sacking. Fitness test time, and it is never a good sign when the fitness test list requires scrolling on, as this one does. Tomiyasu not back, Unavar 45 minutes, Esposito 60, Bruni not fit, Popov and Simois potentially available. But it's not just the fact that we've got all of these fitness tests, we've had so many little injury problems since starting. It's the fact that we are in a mess in the Champions League group. We're going to go and try and get our strongest 11 out. So that will mean at centre-half, Marcelo's back in. In midfield, Roma's back in. On the left wing, who have we got available to come back? It's Mark back. He's still got a heavy match load, but we're going to go all out with a winger on attack. And unfortunately, aside from Popov for Gandara, that is probably our strongest 11 at the moment. If we look in terms of the 18 and who else we can bring in, there are 3 defenders available there. There's a couple of midfielders, but it's not the strongest in the world at all. I mean, we haven't really even got a proper backup striker, except Esposito, who's not match fit. So there are some big alarm bells for me at the moment in a way that this club is working, because we just haven't got the legs across the board. Regardless, though, I'm going to stick Esposito there just so we've got an attacking threat, because we have to win this game. We're on 1 point. We're playing a side who are in second place and the only ones we can realistically catch for the group stages now. So this is the 11 we've gone for to do it. For in the last game, it's Marcelo who comes in at centre-half for Ceballos. Roma comes back in the middle for Ege. Popov in on the right wing, back in on the left wing. And going out are Unavar on the left. And then on the right-hand side, we've dropped Gandara. So let's see what we can do today. It's a big game between Juventus and Bayer Leverkusen. Anything but a win. And I think Europa League football is our limit from this group stage campaign. And that might well be a problem in terms of the club expectations. Are the European champions going to go crashing out? And are we going to be at risk of the sack? Let's get into this game and find out. Well, it's a good team Bayer Leverkusen have got. And I'm sure that William Humphries was a youth player at Spurs. He's worked his way in gradually. But they've got a good side. They're doing well. And if they're at the top end of the Bundesliga, they've got to be a good football team. And this is the problem when you've got loads of playable leagues and you've got loads of clubs who are doing really well in them leagues. You're always going to struggle in the Champions League when you've got clubs from the elite nations in your group. And I know it was a bit of a group of death, but we've not coped well with it so far. Baldé's pulled his groin by the looks of it. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to stay on, but let's see what this highlight brings first, as it falls for Tonali from a long clearance. He cuts inside to Marcelo. It's left a one-on-one at the back, which I'm a tad concerned about, but goes back to De Ligt. And now it's a 0-on-1. Wide to Simois, who plays a 1-2. We've got to get out of this. If we lose the ball, we're in big trouble. Simois cuts it into Tonali. Through to Baldé, the injured number 10. Into Mark back. Has to score and does. The keeper committed. He probably went down a bit too soon. And Mark back takes full advantage. We gave him a rest at the weekend. And maybe it's proven right today. If we get through all of this and somehow do well in Europe, then maybe it will be worthwhile. As we've got a throw on the left with Julio César to Mark back. The goal scorer gives it to Tonali, into Bonghioni, headed away by the goalkeeper, but it's back into the danger zone and the keeper was still in no man's land. Bonghioni just nods it over him, little flicked header, and it's 2-0 to Juventus with just 18 minutes gone. Rather surprisingly, and perhaps worryingly for us, Real Betis now lead Manchester United, which means the group is really closing up and tightening. And that could be a concern because we've shown some poor form in other games. As they're playing out from the back with Humphries, we've got to keep an eye on this. Tonali loses the flick on. Marcelo knocks back to De Ligt. If we can get a third, we can start to build confidence. The problem is, this is what we've been like all season. You saw when we played Milan in the last episode, we had a brilliant first half, went 4-0 up. And then against Empoli, we can't hit a barn door. Against Cittadella, we can't defend to save our lives. Against Atalanta, we were solid. It just doesn't add up. There's no consistency. As back picks it up on the left again. Big switch of play finds Roma. He's got acres of space to run into from midfield, but goes to the overlapping Simois. 4 in the middle of the box again, if he can deliver. Into Bonghioni. Brings it down for Popov. And it is 3-0. I tell you what, we've delivered when we needed to on the big night, in the first 33 minutes anyway. But if only we could have had one of these goals against Empoli, we wouldn't be in such a mess in all these competitions. Back up to second place though at the moment. And so far, so good for the night. Although Back's just picked up a proper injury as well. We're in trouble again. I don't know what it is with the injuries this season. It's been a real bad situation. We've had 3, 4, 5 every single time. As Simois into the box again, Bonghioni heads over. I'm going to replace Back. We've got to make sure he's rested. We're not at the stage we can take chances. So he's going to be replaced by Unavar, inverted winger on attack. It's only 5 minutes more than was recommended in his fitness test. So touch wood, crossed fingers, it'll be okay. Half-time note, 3-0 to Juventus. Not even a shot for our Bundesliga visitors. So let's go and tell the lads to keep it going and hope for more of the same in the second half. As we're back almost immediately with Shep Roma. Gives it to Tonali in the centre of the pitch. He switches left to Julio Cesar. And we seem to have started the way we finished the first. Out to Cesar again from the 1-2 to Unava, the sub. Got Tonali in support. Delivers early to Bongiorni. Down to Popov. And it's blocked out to Shep Roma, who from the edge of the box just runs onto it and drills it. It's a hammer blow into the roof of the net. 4-0 Juventus, a fabulous display. But why is it we're doing it in the big games, but in the smaller ones we're really struggling to make it count? Might be an arrogance thing, might be a consistency thing. But on this night, we've made up for the last game. As it's a free kick for Guedes. It's a good position for Leverkusen. It curls just wide of the post. He'd beaten the wall, he'd beaten the keeper. But unfortunately, he couldn't find the corner of the net for their sake. But with 25 to go, we saw Balde had a knock earlier. He's going to be replaced by Ristivajevic. Tonali's had his struggles as well, so we'll bring on Ege for him. And with 25 to go, I just want a calm, peaceful finish to the match. We'd like it to finish 4-0. We'd probably like Manchester United to get a result, which doesn't look good considering they've missed a pen. And Humphries is playing out to Janisic. It's Bayer Leverkusen. They're still pushing for this goal in the second half, and they have played much better. The leg heads away a long clearance though. 1-2 between Shep Roma and Ege. The long ball forward is cleared as far as Guedes, and now Kucher. On the right hand side, over the top. Oh, it's a great touch from Nana. It's a great effort, and it's a good block in the end by Marcello as well. His pace made up for his poor positioning there. And that's the beauty of being young as a centre-half, isn't it? Is you can get yourself out of trouble. The leg head's clear the corner, but it's only as far as Kucher again. And he's coming down the left wing. He's not really got a huge amount of pressure on him. To the byline he goes. Ristivajevic clears it long downfield. And that's just about that. They've still not had a shot on target, despite their much better second half. Despite having more possession as well. And I think on the night, we've got to be really pleased with how we've done. It looks like Manchester United are back on terms in the 91st minute. So now, second place is looking a little bit better. It's looking a little bit further away for some of the other teams. And if we can repeat that result and that performance away against the Germans next time out, I think we'll be through. I think we'll be alright. Crisis might be averted in the Champions League, but now we've got our own new worries in Serie A. Well, some slight worries as Back and Balde both likely to miss the weekend game. And we saw without Back what we were like at the weekend, so that could be a concern as well. We are up into second place in the Champions League group, 1 point clear of Bayer Leverkusen, 2 points clear of Real Betis. We've got Leverkusen away again in the next group stage game. We're not going to show that one on camera. However, we are going to be back for a big episode later next month. We've got Manchester United in a return Champions League match. And after getting beat 5-1 at Old Trafford, I think it's fair to say you'll probably want to see how we recover from that. We've also got Lazio or Inter either side. Now looking at Serie A at the moment, Inter in 4th, Lazio 6th, both on 15 points, just 2 behind us. So we'll judge which one of those is best when we get to it. We'll show that as part of the double header as well. But given the dominance of Juventus in this league, every year apart from one we've won it, and that was Napoli as well. We could be in real trouble. If we struggle in Europe, if we aren't Italian champions, I think it's pretty unforgivable. So we're going to be back towards the end of November for those 2 big games. But if you did enjoy this episode and that brilliant performance against Bayer Leverkusen, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Let me know what you thought of the disappointment against Empoli before and the scare against Cittadella prior to the international break. There are some real worries here, both defensively and going forward. And all in all, it's just a lack of consistency. Something we've not had for a long time. But still, better than how we finished at Real Madrid. Let's take the positives. If you want to stay up to date, please do subscribe to the channel for daily FM21 content. We've got loads of links to playlists in the eye above, as well as the new food channel too. And of course, you can get involved over on Twitch, as we've got Euros, watch-alongs and FM streams as well. So please do come and follow us there. The link's in the description. It really would be great to have your support. Thank you so much to everyone for watching as always. It really is greatly appreciated. And I'll see you next time for Champions League redemption, as we try to get our own back on Manchester United.